Ibrahim was the first person who called us Muslims and called himself Muslim. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت أنا أول المسلمين. This was in the Quran, the speech of Ibrahim. And it represents the meaning of Islam very clear. What is the meaning of Islam? Submission to God. What does submission to God mean? That your prayer, قل إن صلاتي, any good action of worship that you do, sadaqah, siyam, anything that you worship Allah with it, وَنُسُكِي, وَمَحْيَايَ, my life, وَمَمَاتِي, my death, all this is directed by Allah and are devoted to Allah. And so I should remind myself in all this that Allah is there and I should worship Him and be sincere to Him. What does worshipping Allah means? In life, وَمَحْيَايَ, all your life, when you are asleep, when you are in bed, when you are sick, when you are healthy, when you are eat, when you drink, when you are eating, when you drink, when you do anything, when you put your clothes, when you go to the bathroom, when you have a shower, in all this, Allah is with you, and this would be devoted to Allah. How? How can I devote my meal to Allah? How can I devote my shower to Allah? Remembering Allah and be always obeying Him. Obeying Him in eating, by eating from halal, from good resources, not from theft, not from fraud, not from cheating. And in everything you remember Allah and you devote this thing to Allah so that you would not make no disobedience, nothing wrong in your life, because you are always remembering Allah. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. This is the submission to God. So the direction of prayer tells you always to remember this. You are not turning your face to a wall or to a place in the wall. As a matter of fact, this place in the wall is referring to Makkah. And we looked, and the engineers looked, and the architects looked to the place of Makkah, and they defined the place of Makkah in this mosque in this way. And the same thing you do at home. You do in any place you pray. Why? To remember Allah. Not Mecca as a place, not Al-Ka'ba as a building, but the one to whom the Ka'ba is dedicated as a mosque. And the one to Mecca in which, and the one that we go to Mecca obeying His order for pilgrimage, and we face Mecca obeying His order in prayer. And in this way you will be always remembering Allah. Does remembering Allah make the Muslims fanatic? Make the Muslims rigid? وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. The Quran, after defining Al-Ka'ba, it says, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. We are the community of the middle way, not to go to any extreme, not the extreme of looseness nor the extreme of rigidity and fanaticism. We are ummatan wasata, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ, when a person came to him and the Muslims told him, his companions told him, this man is very pious, this man is very religious, he is fasting and he never eats, and he is praying and he never sleeps. The Prophet ﷺ was not happy with this, because he is the Prophet of the middle way. He says, ألا إن أتقاكم وأعبدكم لله أنا وأنا أصوم وأفطر وأنام وأقوم وأتزوج النساء هذه سنتي فمن رغب عن سنتي فليس مني. He was not happy. He wants people to follow him, and his sunnah is to fast sometime and eat sometime, to sleep sometime and pray sometime, and not to live as monks or live without wives or without any relation with a woman. No, he has wives and he has his life, complete wife, and this is his sunnah. And that is the Ummah Wasat, the community of the middle way. We are not so rigid, we are not so loose in the same time. كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يتبسم. He smiles when something requires smiles. And he talks to children. Once he saw a child and he was used to have a bird. So he saw once the child without a bird. So he said, what happened to your bird? In this way, the Prophet who receives the revelation and had the responsibility of the Ummah, he cares about the child to make the child happy. And he asks him about his bird. So this is the responsibility, and this is the way of Islam, the community of the middle way. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا. And this is the direction that we remember. Its symbol is the direction in prayer to Mecca, but we have to have the direction in all our life. To remember this direction in all our life. To have a direction in life, not to be without direction, and so we can be misguided or misled. This is the way of Islam. And the direction of Qibla reminds us that we should have a direction in life. And then, in the end, what is Mecca and what is Jerusalem? All are places, all are symbols. But the main thing is to remember Allah and to have a continuous relation with Allah. So, we have to remember this always. And to remember that Allah may let us face Mecca, may let others face Jerusalem. The most important thing is our deeds, our work. Is it good or bad? If it is bad, Mecca will not help us. If it is good, then any place is a place of worship to Allah. When you look to any person and try to help him in any way, by words, by deed, by anything, if he needs help, then Allah is with you. ما يكون من نجوى ثلاثة إلا هو رابعهم ولا خمسة إلا هو سادسهم ولا أدنى من ذلك ولا أكثر إلا هو معهم أينما كان. Allah is with you whenever you do something good, even if it is just a smile. تبسمك في وجه أخيك صدقة. when you see your brother, you just smile, not to be frowny, not to think that piety is to be frowny. Piety, the Prophet ﷺ was the most pious, and he was always smiling. And when he was angry for something wrong, for something against the values of Islam, against the teachings of Islam, not for himself, not for his ego, not for his selfishness, but for the sake of his message.